Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, elephants and zebras. Look at this young man right here. Look, he says, "What you looking at, Daddy? Who you talking to?" Yeah, that's you, isn't it? Hey, Daddy, I think I see myself on the TV. Yeah. Okay, I don't think y'all want to look at my chest, so all that's clean. Every single thing over there is clean. I have like a bowl and a fork that need to be washed, and that's it. Everything else is clean. Laundry, I did 2 loads of laundry last night, and the stuff that I hung out here is already dry. About the only thing I didn't do was sweep and mop. So this is a health video. Um, I got that done under a minute. Pretty good. I usually just jabber on. So the nurse came out this morning. I wasn't expecting her to come out. I had received a call this earlier in the week, and they told me that the nurse would call to set up an appointment. So I was thinking that the phone call this morning was going to be to set up an appointment maybe for next week. Well, she phoned this morning and she said, told me what time. She said, well, would this time be good? And I'm like, yeah. What time is it, by the way? So I had about an hour to get ready. Um, so I did. I was dead tired because, something I've come to realize about myself is when I have that oomph, that energy, that ability to get up and do something, I need to do it then and not wait. Because if I wait, it's going to go away. I'm not going to want to do it again for who knows how long. So I just stayed up and I did all those dishes over there. The only thing is they need to be put away now. Um, I picked up the books and stacked them up, put them away. Did laundry. And the nice thing about laundry is I can uh, throw the clothes in the washer, turn it on, and go and do something else. So I'm basically doing 2 things at once, doing laundry and whatever else I'm doing. Um, and some people might say, well, Seamus, it's wintertime. Why are you going without a shirt? Um, as my wife used to say, I don't like shirts. I just don't. I don't like to wear shirts. Um, and I don't care if it's cold. I like the cold. I prefer cold. Now, I will say this: if it's cold and there's no snow on the ground, then it doesn't seem quite right. If it's cold and there is snow on the ground, then everything is peaceful and wonderful and all that. And what little snow we had recently is all gone now. It really didn't last but a few days. Um, but anyway, so the nurse came by this morning. It took about an hour, hour and a half. She couldn't find my place. I live at a location that either you can find it or you can't. And if you can't find it, like I had to go out and wave to her, hey, here I am. I saw her drive by, but she wasn't sure because of the way the address is set up, which is actually good because it kind of allows a little privacy. But anyway, so she came by, did all the interview and checked my skin and checked my heart and checked my meds and all that kind of stuff. And as you get older, you start taking more medication, and you start having more and more health issues. It's like, and I showed her pictures of my colon, because she was asking me questions, and well, I had the colonoscopy, and here, I showed her the results, and there's pictures of the colon. She said, "Wow, you have a clean colon." And I haven't seen a colon quite that clean in a while. That was nice, I guess. Although I didn't like having to starve myself for a few days. That's the only downside of the colonoscopy, because thankfully they put me under, because I couldn't have done it if they would have, if I would have been awake. Just no way. And there was somebody on Facebook who was telling me before I had it done, oh yeah, I was watching the whole thing on the screen. I couldn't do that. But anyway, so I will have a nurse, um, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and a home health aide. And the nurse is going to try and set me up with long-term home care, because it's like I can do so much in the house. Do you hear that? That's supposed to be the town bell. I don't know if they've changed it for Christmas or what, but it's not what it used to be. Anyway, so through home health, um, everything is short term. It used to be that you could, get longer term care, but uh, and it depends on what the doctor says, what the nurse says, what your condition is, and all that, or conditions. Although many times they don't look at conditions, they look at a condition. And for me, it's my heart. That's what they're dealing with. Now, the OT and PT is dealing with my balance. And I use a cane much of the time. I'm having to use it more than I once did. There was a time where I only used it on a rare occasion. If my legs were really shaking or something like that. And for at first it didn't happen that often. Now it's most of the time, if not all of the time. Or, I'd say, I don't know how to describe it. I might be able to go through a day or two without the tremors, but I still have balance issues. I fall. I usually catch myself. I don't. I usually don't hit the ground, although I have. And the thing is, I don't get scared. You can tell that your eyes will get really wide, really, they're really open wide. And I'm so used to falling that I don't get scared anymore. I still, I often try to move faster than I can really move, and that's one of the issues I have with falling is, um, I need to slow down. Lucky wants to go 100 miles an hour, and I can't do that. The doctor and the nurse want me to use the cane inside, outside, and everywhere I go. See, one of the nice things about going to, say, Walmart or the grocery store is I have a cart that I can lean on. I take my cane, I put it in the cart, and lean on the cart. And it's actually feels safer, feels more secure than just using the cane. But I just, I get, look, I used to backpack and rock climb, canoe, or archery. I just can't do those things anymore. I'm not going to say I can't go for a hike, for a walk. I can. Hopefully, I'll be able to come next year, uh, do a little camping trip using my Long Hunters kit, but we'll see. There's no guarantee. I can still actually, go to a campground and car camp. But I don't want a car camp. I want to hike. I want to go for a few days or even a week on foot on a trail. There are actually trails in this area. Unlike Texas, you know, there are lots of trails here. New Hampshire is mostly rural. We don't have big cities like San Antonio, Houston, DFW, Amarillo, El Paso, uh, Austin. We don't have places like that here, thankfully. Um, I've been to Manchester once and to Concord once, and Concord seemed okay, but Manch, thankfully somebody was in the car with me to help me get there, and then we picked my wife up and we came back. But I'm like, that was city driving, even though it was the middle of the night. But anyway, so I'm going to have a home health aide, a nurse, PT, and OT, um, and hopefully I will have eventually have a long-term home health aide. Um, um, well, actually, there is a pot on the stove that has food in it that I need to put away. I was starving, and I was starving, and I made something, and then I went to bed, and I left it there. But it should be fine. It's not like it's hot. I mean, I don't keep the temperature very high in here. Um, but anyway, so and of course John wants to come out and hang out with everybody and meet and greet and rub against them and rub against their things and sniff everything. And I put him in the bedroom and he found a way to open the door. Socks, of course, ran and hid. She's like that. Maggie kind of like, huh? No, this is my house, but you're here, so I'll investigate. Lucky, on the other hand, he's like, yeah, hey, how you doing? Lucky will attack you and lick you to death, right, Lucky boy? His ear perked up. He can only hear out of one ear now. Um, oh, I can only hear out of one ear. Um, but I guess the only other thing to say is was it today? It was today. This morning, I got a letter from one of my prison pen pals, and she's someone I'm not going to be writing to anymore. Send me $40 and some stamps. I'm like, I told you I don't have money, and you're asking me. I'm like, nah. But this is one of the girls. First, second, third letter. Oh, I love you. Uh, you're the perfect man for me. I'm like, not after the first letter. No way. I haven't talked on the phone. I'm like, no. So the whole prison pen pal thing is kaput. It's not gonna. And there are people in prison who've made mistakes. They acknowledge it, they admit it, and they do their best to become better people. And then there are people in prison that are there for good reason. And frankly, you go to prison and you get around other people that are bad, and you learn more bad habits and skills. And I mean, how do you know unless you actually write to someone? There is one lady, oh boy, she cusses worse than a sailor, and my daddy had been a sailor. So had my dad's dad, my granddaddy. And this lady cusses. I mean, I don't ever remember either one of them cussing. But no, my daddy was Canadian Merchant Navy during the war, and before and after that, he was Canadian Merchant Navy. And my granddaddy, he was Canadian Merchant Navy before and after the war, and during the war, he was Canadian Navy. So, you know, and then my dad eventually was U.S. Merchant Marine, which is what we call Merchant Navy. But and then he went into the military. But anyway, so she's a lifer, so I'm like, well, she's a lifer. I mean, it doesn't mean she can't pull a scam on me. It's just, but she's a lifer. I feel more comfortable writing to her. I'm not going to be somebody. Oh, I'm getting out in 3 months or 5 months or a week, and send me money and stamps and food and books and da 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 da. No. If I offer it, if I offer something, that's one thing. But you're gonna ask me for all this? I'm like, no. I barely make it myself. And I really barely make it. But the town had a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner. Maybe I should have stayed longer, but I was full. They had quite a bit of food and it was good. And I happen to like green bean casserole. And they had that. And like I said, it was good. All the food was good. Um, and I have a turkey that I baked that's in the refrigerator. When I got up, I had 2 turkey sandwiches. Wish I had some bacon. I can put some bacon on it. Anyway, I have 1 onion roll left, but I have other bread. I just don't have any regular sliced bread. Anyway, so yeah, PTOT nurse and home health aide, and we'll see how things go. And I hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic day, fantastic night actually, because it's 8:12 p.m. now. Just turned 12. 8:12 p.m. Bye bye.